Now, we discussed yesterday when you hold the daled minim, remember we had to hold it in both hands. And what about you hold it in both hands? The lulav in the right and the esrog, do you keep them together? Maybe when you do the nanuim, you could go like this, the lulav by itself and the esrog. The esrog is not touching the lulav. So Mechaber says in Yud Aleph, page 250, Tzorech lechaber esrog lulav b'shas ninuo. You have to attach the esrog to the lulav when you wave it. Ulnananea shneim yachad. And when you wave them together. He says if one doesn't wave, you just take it in your hand, you say the bracha, you didn't wave whatsoever, you fulfilled the mitzvah. But again, it's not the optimum. And how you wave it, even if a person doesn't wave it correctly, also yotze, because there's no worse than not waving it whatsoever. See the Mishna Berura, Yud Aleph. He says, although it's not in one band, only three of them are bound together. Should be touching. Why? He didn't wave whatsoever. So even if he doesn't do the waving correctly, it's no worse than not waving at all. The moment you lift the esrog, but if a person did not wave it, it's better to take the lulav again and to wave it. Which means, he says, initially when you take the esrog to biyotze, you should be menaneya. And he says, all the nanuim, if you don't do it, it's not makif. It doesn't disqualify the mitzvah. But he says, nevertheless, there's a difference between the later waving and the original waving. He says, factually, if originally you took the lulav, although yotze, if one did not wave it, you should take it again and wave it that one time. That person said Hallel, you said Hallel without the lulav, there's no mitzvah now to take it and wave it the amount of times that you didn't wave it during the Hallel. Or you didn't wave it correctly during the Hallel. Okay, so it's gone. But during the fulfillment of the original mitzvah, when you take it initially, you should wave. If you don't, you yotze. But if you didn't wave it, he says, and you can take it again and wave it this one time, you should wave it. Arba minim halolu makvin zeh. The four species, one interferes with the other. Similar, this language is used by Shimon Esrei. Person only says 18 of the 19 brachos. You're not yotze. You have to say all the brachos. Person only has, instead of putting 4 tzitzis on the 4 corners, he puts 3. You're not yotze. You have to have tzitzis on all 4 corners of your 4-cornered garment. One is ma'akiv, one interferes, doesn't allow the other to have any value. Sarba minim halolo makvin says shimchoselo echod behem lo yivorach al shar. If you're lacking in any one of the 4 species, you should not say a bracha on the 3 that you have. Avol notlon lezechabam. What do? You take it, because it shouldn't be forgotten. We had this earlier. There was a whole discussion. Bein biyom rishon, bein b'shar yomim. Whether it's the first day, which is doraisa, or the subsequent days, which is only drabonon. Vim hoyu arbaton mitzuin etzlo. What? No, you're not doing it to fulfill the mitzvah. You should not forget that there is such a mitzvah.
No, I understand, but still, it looks.
Okay?
It looks. Sitting in shul. He's taking 3.
You'll just have the lulav, you don't have an esrog. Let's say there's one, you're short of an esrog, and you have the lulav. He's not saying you should waive it. Only initially. You should take it, and initially to take it once, and that's it. I'm not sure. Because we had earlier, there was a whole discussion if the esrog is dried out. I'm not the esrog, I mean the lulav, or even esrog. Should you take it without a bracha? So we mentioned earlier that the mitzvah should not be forgotten, you should do it. We didn't differentiate whether it's initially take it or during it. Seemingly over there you conduct yourself as if you had the species.
It seemed like if you took up the lulav and esrog in the morning, just pick it up to the brachas. Without right? And then you got the shul, maybe a color. And you
Initially, you never waved it. So of course you should. There's no question. You wave it now.
Right, so in Hallel you will waive it.
Of course. Why not? No question.
And you do Yotze with the waiver.
Yeah, no question. We're talking about something else. Personally, he has just a lulav. He doesn't have an esrog. So Mechaber says, even if you have a few of the species, you should take it. Without a bracha. Zecher. That the mitzvah should not be forgotten. So David's asking, it's Bal Tikra. You're not permitted. Personally, has tefillin made with 3 compartments rather than 4 compartments. You don't wear those tefillin.
But there's no parshas. It's the boxes.
Okay.
To remember the tefillin.
So there it could be different. Because there, without parshas whatsoever, it's nothing. It's nothing. It's just a box. Here, you have the species. You don't have enough of the species. One interferes with the other. Right? There could be a difference. We had this earlier. Nobody else. You can't even borrow it. You can't. You can't. We're speaking. You can't. You're not able to borrow. There's none in the community whatsoever. Yeah. Okay. But they knew that wasn't a mitzvah. They understood it, right? But if a person really would believe that he's being yotzi with this, then it is Bal Tikra. It is Bal Tikra. The question is, why are we worried about this? A person knows better, and he's only doing that. It shouldn't be forgotten. Is one thing. But if a person doesn't know any better, and he believes he's being yotze with 3, then seemingly it should be a problem. Okay. Now he says something. Vim hoya arbatam b'tzuyin, and so he has all 4. Undetolam echad echad yotze. Rather than take them all simultaneously, he takes them sequentially, even during different parts of the day. But it's on the same day, yotze. But he says, Hagob vachiyu kulan lefonov. But all 4, the species that he has, they should be before him. He's quoting the Rambam. Yitol lulav tchilo vivorech alol lulav. Because here he's speaking, they should be before you to be able to say the bracha. Because you're going to be able to take all 4. Let's say you have 1, and you'll say, well, I'll have the next one later and later. So when do you say the bracha? Understand? Here, the bracha is on the mitzvah that you're doing now. Let's say he says the bracha now he takes the lulav. And he's not going to have the arava till 2 hours later. You can't say the bracha. Maybe at the end of the day you may be yotze the mitzvah, bracha you're not gave. Here we said to be able to say the bracha. That if all the species are before you, you could say the bracha. No, I understand that.
Okay, so
That's what he's saying.
So every 2 hours you take another species.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
You yotze, but to say a bracha initially, that you're not able to. He says, the yitol lulav tchila yivarcha lulav, v'dato gam al acherim. When you say the bracha al tilas lulav, you have in mind the other species. V'imsoch beineim. What happens if he speaks? He takes lulav, speaks after he said the bracha. Tzach levarach al kalecha b'fnei atzmo. You have to say the bracha on the other ones, because again, you weren't yotze. You spoke before you fulfilled the mitzvah. Let's see the Mishna Berura. Makvin zeh. The bina liki chotamo. You have to take a complete taking. V'kula mitzvah achas. All 4 species are considered one mitzvah. Lo yivorach al hashar. You should not say the bracha on the others. Da afilam yodea beberu shel b'sof yavod liyodo kulan. Even though you know definitely, let's say he has them at different locations and they're locked away. No one has access to them except himself. So he knows he's going to have all 4 by the end of the day, and he's not going to speak till he takes the last one. Unless they're all before him at the time that he says the bracha, he should not say the bracha. Out of respect for the bracha, I'll give you an example. I mean, when a person says a bracha on food, you're supposed to hold the food. Let's say you have a glass of water. You're supposed to, your hand should be touching the glass before you say the shakel. Versus shakel, then he takes it. It's not proper. Because you have to somehow identify the bracha with what's going to be drunk. Okay, what about they didn't bring the drink yet, and they bring it. It's even worse, because at least here the object that you're saying the bracha is before you. But if it's not, well, I know what's going to be brought. But if there's such a disassociation between the bracha and that, it's not respectful. It's the same as similarly here. You know definitely they're going to come to species. Came chain between lefora b'shas bracha, bein b'shar yomim. No, this is before. Bein b'shar yom hin marshal b'tshuva kosev the hora l'shlich tzibur lito nea kodem halel u'b'shas halel b'lo brocha. There's no an aleph. So he says, the marshal, he writes in the responsa that he had said to shlich tzibur that he should take the lulav initially. ובשעשה בלו, אבל אחרים לא ייטול כלל, דחי שם יוב ליטול גם כן, בשער אחרס לבורך. לא רב חולק על זה, ודאית האחרים יוכל גם ליטול נענע בו כמו שליח ציבור. אג'רב אם לא ייטול כלל, רק השליב יוכל לא צי סמיכשל לשנה בו, לא יקחו כלל. Not sure what context they're speaking about again. Marshal would tell the shlich tzibur to take the lulav and to wave it before Halil, and during Halil without a bracha. Others, he would say they shouldn't take whatsoever. Because what are we concerned? The chayshina shevo lo lito gamkim shana cheres levorich. Oh, we're speaking about where he has all the species, or he doesn't have the species? We're speaking where he doesn't have all the species. Okay. He argues the daita acherim yuchel gam lito lenanea k'mo shlich tzibur. He's saying when we say zecher, is the zecher only going on the chazan? He should be the one. What about each individual? As individuals, do you say for zecher you should waive it? So the Marshal was concerned if you allow them, people forget, and next year they'll say a bracha on it. The shlich tzibur, people knowing that they're not taking it, so you're not going to say a bracha if you don't take it. The zeich means there should be a representative of the tzibur taking the lulav. We have such a thing. But if you let each individual to take it as if that's what he's doing correctly, eventually people are going to say the bracha on that. Therefore, the Marshal says individuals should not take it unless you have all the 4 species. The Lirab says no. He argues that Cherem Yuchel Gab Kilitol Nanea Kamok Shmlir Tzibur. Vajrabin lo yitol klau rak shlich tzibur cholotzis michshlo nabo. Yisma shlich tzibur lo yichol klau. People say, one doesn't have to, even when you have the species, you know what they're going to say? We don't have to take the species. The shlich tzibur is yotzi for us. Kein mistimas amchaber rav mashman gamkin chol yochid 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 litol lezech balma, as we're explaining it. We're not concerned that if they take it for zech multiple years, eventually they'll believe that that's the way you're supposed to do the mitzvah, meaning in a deficient way. We're not concerned.
There's already a difference between the way the Shrat Tzibur shapes and when the other technology is there. So you already have a differentiation.
No, we're not talking about they're even doing it more so. When the individuals take it during Halal, we waive it even to a greater degree than the Shlich Tzibur.
Right, so that's
No.
Shrat Tzibur, it's okay for him to do it just for Zecher, because he's already doing something different than everyone else is.
Yeah, but the other people, they were concerned that if we don't, for many years past, they're going to believe the Shlich Tzibur is Motzi the Tzibur.
No.
He's our representative. That's the counterpoint, the counter argument here. You're worried about the bracha. We're worried about that they're not going to do the mitzvah even when they have the 4 species, which happens. Remember many years ago when Rabbi Dweck was like the first rabbi, Yitzhak Dweck in Deal, Sephardic rabbi, and he wanted to build a mikveh there. Rabbi Dweck, he was a classmate of mine. In 1962, he came out of Syria with his family. They came from Syria. He barely spoke English, and he was about 14 and a half years old. See, he was aware of what existed in Syria in terms of the community. And comes to the deal, he wants to build a mikveh. So the people who came from Syria years earlier, maybe 30, 40 years earlier, said to him, we never used mikvahs in Syria. Women, they would take a bath. That was it. There's no need for a mikveh. That's it. This is something which is extreme. We don't want it. What are you talking about? He says, I come from Aleppo. We had mikvos. What are you talking about? No, it was a recollection from their childhood, what they believed, what they saw, they knew nothing, you know. But people have recollections. So so over here it's not clear. Each one has their concern. If you take 3 species rather than 4, people say, well, that's the way you do the mitzvah. That was the Marshal's concern. The Eli Rabbah says the problem is that the Shlich Tzibur only does it. They say, no, there's no need to buy the 4 species. The Shlich Tzibur, he's Motzios. That's enough. We don't have to do it ourselves. I mean, each one's concern, there's a base for the concern, but the question is, which is the greater concern? And that's what they're arguing. But seems to be, the consensus is that they take it, not concerned that what? That they may take it with a bracha. That's the least of it. It's the least of it. Okay? Many years ago, in Manhattan, and this was a concern, the Merrill Diskin had sent a responsa in the 1800s to St. Louis. They wanted to build an Eruv for Shabbos. And he said they shouldn't build an Eruv. Why? Because then it was a question of, you use the bank of the river, certain parts of the community. So he said, firstly, people, they're totally ignorant. They have no understanding. And eventually, when all the characteristics of Eruv no longer exist because they moved to another part of the community, they say, well, we always carried on Shabbos. So why can't we carry? So it's better not to make the Eruv, that they should not carry on Shabbos. That was the ruling of the Merrill Diskin for St. Louis. It's in the 1800s. The Lower East Side in Manhattan, pre-World War II, everybody carried. Firstly, people were ignorant. But what did they rely on? They relied on the 2nd Avenue L. It was the elevated train. They used that as the mechitzos, even though it was very questionable whether they met the criteria of what a Tzuras HaPesach is. But at least they relied on that. Before World War II, they took it down. But people, for years, observant people, they wheeled the baby carriages, they carried everything on Shabbos. Carried their keys, and they continued. And I remember, in the 50s, religious people took the carriages in the street, carried their keys, the shul, everything. There was no Eruv. No psak. There's nobody to give a psak in those days. People conduct themselves the way, it's like a woman, how does she know how to bake challah? Her mother taught her. It was that kind of thing. No, we've always done this. What has changed? You want to say you're not? It doesn't make any sense. Only when people became more learned, then they understood it's not so simple. Things change, and if you don't have what you originally had, so you're not permitted any longer. Yeah. Just do one more. Nun based on Tolam Echad Echad Yotza. If one takes the 4 species individually, separately, you also Yotzei. The Eged Shanos in lulav Rak Mitzvah V'lo Likuva. That we put it in one band, that the Gemara says is Hiddur Mitzvah. So even if, let's say, you didn't bind them together, you just held off all 3 in your hand simultaneously together. Yotzei. V'zashmin b'sifal. That the Mechaber said in the first sif. V'hochashmin and Yosef. Here he still is a greater chidush. Even if he doesn't take all 4 species simultaneously. So it's not only are they not in one band, he's not even taking them simultaneously. As long as you take all 4. He's saying one bracha to cover all 4 species. All 4 before him. V'yita lulav tchil vorech. The came shmaskinos of bebrocha. Since altil is lulav, so therefore the lulav should be the one that's taken. She sobach lebrocha. Daito gamal acherim. But he has in mind the other species also. Obze poter es kula ma'apishnota kolech levorich. Though he's taking each one individually. El kolech b'fnei atzmo. Okay, we'll leave this for tomorrow.